Hiya, folks. This is Rick Emmett of Triumph.
This is Mark Merrill, also known as Johnny B. Bad.
Hi, this is a best-selling author. I threw the best-selling in there. Best-selling author Dick Wybrow.
I'm Melanie from Second Shooter.
This is Jeff with Second Shooter.
Hey everybody, it's Brian Allen from Bridges Ablaze.
Hey, this is Sammy Lee, drummer of the band Red Rain.
Yo guys, it's Mark McKay.
Hey, this is Frank Fletcher.
Hola amigos, this is Billy Sheehan.
Hey guys, this is John Karabi.
Hi, this is Jim Valance.
What's up everybody, it's Logan from All the Pretty Things.
Hey guys, it's Leather Leone.
What's up guys, Cassandra Carson here from Paralandra and the Life Project.
My name's Reggie and you are listening to the Weekly Pour podcast. Thanks so much for joining the most amazing twosome out there.
It's time once again for the Weekly Pour, the show that knows everything about absolutely nothing. Here are your hosts, TbT and Ace.
That's us. I'm TbT. The fuzzy guy over there is Ace. What the heck? I don't even know. I don't even know what to do. My man can make TikToks and send them all day long. So we got them posted, and it's clear as a bell. But as soon as you start this, it's thank goodness that there's audio, so that people can actually figure out. Oh my goodness gracious!
It's this filter.
Maybe it's Maybelline. I don't even know. I don't know what to say. I took my glasses off thinking that they were dirty, but it's just my screen.
If you wipe out your face totally, you look really young.
I don't even know if I could make a filter like that. John Cena is sitting next to me. As you can see, you can't see him.
You can't see me.
I'm going to spend an hour just laughing about this. So if you're just now tuning in, it doesn't always look like this. Ace just happens to be using an iPhone 4.
Right.
Holy moly.
I have an system in my house.
And you've got extenders and everything.
It's right here.
It's too close to you. That's why. Well, it's like I told you. You've got to connect to it. Like it doesn't just extend. I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna come over and figure this out.
You need to. You really do.
Welcome to episode 121 of the Weekly Pour podcast. I'm Clear TbT. That's Fuzzy Ace. Welcome. If you're watching us on YouTube, we got the chat going. Everybody's in there. If you're watching and you haven't jumped into the chat, at least say hi. At a minimum, click that thumbs up. And Ace just left. He said, "Screw it."
I'm working on something.
Okay. He's still there. But anyway, jump in. Pam in the chat said it's the Joan Crawford filter. That's actually hilarious. Digital Viper said it's you're streaming from your Game Boy dial up. What in the deuce? Turn yourself upside down, please. Just do this whole show upside down. Please. Anyway, if you're watching, great. Jump in the chat, say hi, let everybody know it's in there. Mama TbT was the first one in tonight. Shannon's in. Pam. Nat McFick is, of course, in there as always. The Viper's there. Ace is officially 100% gone now. He'll be back in a second. Pam's in. I already said hi to you, Pam, but hey, why not another one? And, of course, Mrs. TbT. We're going to attempt to add Ace again as he jumps in here. But hit that thumbs up. Let us know you're in. We're going to spend the first 20 minutes here trying. We can't see you, John Cena.
Right here.
Yep. Nope. You're not.
What are you doing?
I'm not doing. I'm sitting here hosting a show. What are you doing?
I think you're trying to make this more funny.
No, actually, I'm not. Like you're in, but we have no visual. Like your half of the screen is dark. So,
iPad now is trying to join.
Well, pick whichever one works. Do you have an iPhone 4? Is that what you're using?
No,
Okay.
this is like a 13.
Oh, okay. Well, it's better than a 4. Yeah, so it's Tuesday. It's February 4th. If anybody's in here from seeing any of our videos off of TikTok, say hi, please. We're not usually this corrupt. Actually, we totally are. But jump in, say hi, especially this chat. Of course, Natalie is our moderator. She's, she's pretty good, but sometimes not. Just so you know, Ace, you're still gone.
I know. I don't know what to do about it.
Ace is currently sitting in the dark. He lost power in his place. So yeah. Did you switch devices?
No.
He says no, and then he leaves. And he comes back. So look, there he is. Fuzzy Ace has returned.
I'm back.
Holy moly.
So what I did, you mentioned joining the network. So I joined on my iPad, and all of a sudden I got a boost in my signal. I'm like, cool, I'll do that to the phone. I did that. Here we are.
So let me ask you this. Why not use the iPad camera?
Well, we tried that before.
Did
that would
we?
be something we would have to do. Yeah. It gives a big wide angle, if you remember.
Oh, then you flip it the other way.
Yeah, my set is very small, so it gives a big wide angle of everything.
I would, yeah, but if it's a wide angle, then just turn it this way and maybe it'll give a better angle. It's all about perspective.
I guess. I guess.
So where were we? Yeah, big week. Big week going on. Of course, the number one thing that's everywhere is the Grammy Awards, which we will get into here shortly. Ace and I have a lot to say about that. But last weekend, Ace made a trip up to Indianapolis, where he was one of 70,000 in attendance for the WWE's Royal Rumble. Of course, I sat in the comfort of my home, watched, lived vicarious through you, and I enjoyed it for the most part. Ups and downs, of course. But how was it for you?
It was a good time. My son had bought these tickets as soon as they went on sale, and he bought them for himself, me, his wife, my daughter-in-law, and two other friends. And through circumstances of life, the daughter-in-law couldn't go. My other daughter, my oldest daughter, went. So that worked out really well, and another person. So we had a whole row there of people that we went, and our seats were kind of high up, and that makes it a little harder to see the ring and enjoy it. But we had the big screens. Lucas Oil Stadium's a really nice stadium to see any live event in, I think. And overall, it was a really good time. What I really enjoyed were the crowd reactions. So this is the Royal Rumble, and if you're not familiar with what that is, it's a big rumble in the ring with 30 entrants. You have a men's match, a women's match, and you start off with 2, and every 2 minutes, a different person comes in. And the most fun of that is the countdown, which everyone in that place counts it down.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And then the crowd, right. Imagine an hour and a half of counting down, 9, 8, and then the reactions. And for the women, I think the biggest one was the Alexa Bliss reaction.
Absolutely.
When she returned, because it had been like 2 years.
Mm-hmm. Gets married,
I think
has a baby, and she's back.
Yeah, and the roof went off Lucas Oil when she came out. It really did. And then I think pretty big one for Charlotte because she had returned. For the men, it was Roman Reigns.
Really?
And 70,000 people standing on their feet with a finger in the air.
From my perspective, from
all
just watching it on the tube, I would have said Punk.
That was pretty good too. And then Joe Hendry.
Oh yeah,
who is not even a WWE wrestler.
Be careful, you said his name.
You know, right? He may appear. I believe in him. But yeah, he's from a rival. Well, not even a rival, but another wrestling promotion, and he got a huge pop.
Yeah. So the Viper pointed out that that Nikki Bella got a pretty good pop as well. I think that was unexpected on most fronts.
I think a lot of people were disappointed.
Really?
Because that was the last entrant of the Women's Royal Rumble match.
Yeah.
And I think we were expecting someone like really big. And you gave us Nikki Bella. Really?
Sure. Well, I mean, it's better than the men's.
As far as what their last entrance was?
Yeah.
Refresh me. Who was that?
Wasn't
Logan
it
Paul?
Dom?
Do what?
I thought it was Dom.
Oh, Dominic Mysterio?
Yeah.
I love Dominic.
Oh, geez. It's from the same guy that loves Charlotte.
Logan Paul, the last one. I got a list here.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about him.
And people loved Logan Paul, let me tell you. Him and Dominic. Dominic's a great bad guy. You got to love that.
No, he is. He absolutely is. I think the most impressive part of the men's rumble was the spear taken by YouTube sensation Speed.
Who the hell is that guy? I didn't know who that guy is.
He's a content creator. YouTube, I think Twitch, all that fun stuff. He's just a creator. He was actually the same one that was dressed up as the Prime bottle on a previous pay-per-view, and he got put in, and he was subsequently smashed in half. That was kind of fun to see.
How long do you train if you're someone like him to learn to take that bump?
Probably
that's vicious. You got to learn to do that right and not die.
Yeah, the reports right now are that his shoes are still in the ring at Lucas Oil. And as the Viper points out, they're still looking for his head. And hi, Kathy, welcome. Kathy, we are talking about the Royal Rumble here for just a few minutes since Ace went to it, and it's our show, so we're going to talk about it.
We promise we won't stay long on it.
Yeah, we won't stay long on it because we have a lot of other stuff. Let me ask you this. How was the reaction to Jey Uso winning the Men's Rumble?
Oh my gosh, that's what I wanted to get into. Was that was the perfect pick for that because the reaction was just unbelievable. I mean, people just yeeting away. Everyone's got their hands. When he comes in, they're doing it. When he wins, they're doing it. When we left at the end of it, of course, the place is clearing out. They were going through his theme song as he's going around the ring, joining the crowd in his yeeting.
It's just
probably another 20 minutes. Yeah, just another 20 minutes.
Wow.
It was going on and on. When we got out into the arena on the way out, they had a screen up and you could see he had his, I think his daughter in the ring with him by then.
That was
and the crowd's going nuts still. His son.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a big deal. And it was a great reaction. He's really, really popular.
Yeah, he's over right now.
And
he's over the top.
There was something I saw. I think my son sent it to me that if people are going to complain if you pick Cena because Cena wins it. It's the same old crap we've seen before.
Sure.
If Reigns wins it, it's the same old crap we've seen before, you know. So the perfect like neutral pick is Jey Uso, who's been, you know, doing this as a workhorse.
Oh yeah.
For 2 years now. You know, 2 years. So I thought it was well deserved. I'm not the biggest Jey Uso fan. I think, you know, I mean, if I listed my favorites, he's way down on the bottom of the list. But that doesn't mean he's not talented, or he doesn't work hard, or he's not over. He's over. He's over big time. So well deserved for him, and it was a good pick.
Yeah, and it's always not always
Charlotte
being the absolute most popular. Sometimes, and like you said, it's that build, and it was just, I mean, he's been losing almost consistently, and then all of a sudden he gets this, and I think it's great for the company. Um, love it or hate it, or actually hate it or hate it, 70,000 people in attendance at Lucas Oil Stadium, sold out. 70,000. This isn't your 5,000, concert where 5,000 people show up. This is 70,000 people. The amount of money, the amount of revenue brought to the city of Indianapolis, the amount of people that came over from different countries, that came over from other states, unbelievable amount of money and everything that was brought into Indianapolis. And we still have at least 2 major events coming to Indianapolis over the course of the next few years. And that's going to be SummerSlam, which I believe is what, 27 maybe? And then,
yeah, it's going to be a minute.
And maybe it was 2029. I don't know the years, but Indianapolis will get WrestleMania. That is going to be
huge.
Phenomenal, huge. And if you think they'll find a way to put more seats in there, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if they did 2 nights, both nights at Lucas Oil, and then also do the Field House, which is just down the road, but have something
and
else
have a screening.
There. Yeah, that's the way to do it. And I don't know what that place holds. Let's say 20,000. So now you're talking 90,000 people watching, and we're gonna, it's not gonna be nearly as much as what AT&T Stadium holds, but I mean, good grief, that place is designed to hold over 100,000 people. But these events, I said, whether you like it or not, these events, they do their job. They sell out.
Yeah, they do. And what was cool was they had a Pacer game at 5 p.m. So the Rumble event started at 6 p.m. Gainbridge Fieldhouse is right down the oil. They had a Pacer game. They had the Rumble going on. And then if you're a hockey fan, they had the Fury. The Indianapolis Ice playing. Fuel, whatever they are. They're playing in Fishers. There was a lot going on. They had independent wrestling all weekend up until the Rumble. I think at Gainbridge, they had a big independent wrestling, kind of a showcase. A lot of different promotions coming in.
Also had
there was a lot going on in Indianapolis. Right. So it was a busy weekend, but I didn't notice that much in the way of getting around being difficult. Well, of course, we got there early enough. The traffic wasn't a big deal, but it did work out pretty well. I thought it was funny too. I told you Charlotte got the big pop when she comes out because we've not seen her in a while. She wins the Rumble match, which I have no problem with. Monday night she goes to Cleveland. The Monday Night Raw is in Cleveland, and she gets booed out of the building.
Yeah, I was one of those
booed out of the building. Why would you do that?
I can't stand her.
She's a great talent. She's a great talent.
Look, even Andrade didn't like her. He divorced her.
Well, we don't have the details there yet, but when your dad is Ric Flair, it's hard to see a great example of what marriage should be. Let's just say.
Yeah, I'd take Rhea Ripley over Charlotte Flair any day.
Well, you'll get to see that match soon enough, probably, if they do that at WrestleMania again.
I don't think they will. I think they'll go the other way and have her go against Stratton. And I think Stratton will win as another notch in her belt where she has actually done something and beat Charlotte Flair. Just my prediction.
Well, here's the thing. How many times has Charlotte been a champion? I mean, she's creeping up on that magical number that Cena's looking for, right? 17? Is it 17?
Yeah, I think she's at
I mean, she's getting close to that.
12, something like that.
But if you think about it, how long has she actually been, wrestling? Cena's been doing it a lot longer.
Sure.
So I don't think it would be wise for her to, catch up to Orton and Cena and all those guys, within the next year. So we'll see. We'll see what they do.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the writers do. It's an ongoing thing. You know just as well as I do that they probably have WrestleMania almost figured out already because they need to know in advance a portion of it so that way they can figure out who's going to win the Rumble. January is the normal time for the Rumble. The WrestleMania is in March, which is the what did I hear the other day? I heard the quote that that WrestleMania is the Super Bowl of professional wrestling, and I think it may have been Paul Levesque or Triple H that said that the Super Bowl is actually the WrestleMania of football. I liked that. I was like, that's kind of smart. But good. I'm glad you guys went, had a good time. You made it back safe. That's a huge event.
Yeah, overall, it was a good experience.
Yeah, overall, it's a huge event for Indianapolis.
Right, it is. And I watched it back the next day just to see if I had missed anything because we're so high up. But really, I didn't. I didn't miss a lot at all. But by watching it on screens and looking down in the ring when I can, and I didn't miss a lot. It was good. I enjoyed it. I would do it again.
Yeah, one of the big differences, I think we've mentioned it before, is that you don't have the commentary when you're sitting there, in the stadium. Like people that are watching it on TV, they've got the commentary, all the stuff that's going on. Pat McAfee just chirping in your ear the whole time, yeeting away. Where you don't, you are actually having to watch the action to see what's going on.
Right, to get the story that they're telling, and there are times I missed that. I did miss it this time because the Rumble. If you paid attention to wrestling over the last year, you know what the stories are. When you see the two people confront each other in the ring, they got some heat. That's been a story going on, or that could be a story going on. So you don't necessarily have to have the commentary. I tell you what was a great match too. We did discuss was the ladder match. Oh my gosh, the brutality of the ladder match.
Yeah,
and it was as brutal on the replay as it was live. Like it was intense. And I don't know if Kevin Owens is alive. Have we heard that he's alive?
He is because he was on Raw last night.
Okay, well, I didn't catch all of it.
Well, a lot of people
must have,
because there were some issues with Netflix.
Well, probably like what I've got right now, right?
Yeah, but it was going dark. It wasn't just Fuzzy Ace or Fuzzy Owens. It was, yeah, I know. All right, now that we've lost Kathy, we'll go ahead and move on to the elephant in the room. That elephant in the room is the 2025 Grammy Awards, which took place this past Sunday. If you've watched any of our social media posts, or just been on the internet or TikTok, whatever, on Earth, the internet is just on fire, ablaze, whatever you want to call it, all because of the Grammy Awards. And it's not just because of Beyonce. There are so many other things that transpired before the Grammys, in the middle of the Grammys, and throughout the entire show. Wow. what a it's definitely been, you know, there was enough news right there in the Grammys itself to cover the entire hour. We're going to compact it into at least the next 30 minutes probably. But and if you're in the chat, please give us your input, because we want to hear your logic and some of the things you guys are thinking about. Let's start off number one. Let's talk about the whole Beyonce thing. Obviously, she wins album of the year, and on top of that, wins country album of the year. I have problems with both of those. Again, just my personal opinion. And it's really based on the people that she beat out on both of those. I texted you earlier today and told you that, you know, I've never listened to it, but I was going to go through and run through every song. Well, I did.
Okay.
It is absolutely asinine that gets country album of the year. Asinine. Just unbelievable.
Over Chris Stapleton. Over Chris Stapleton.
Not just him. I got to pull it up now. I can't think of her name. I know you're going to tell me what it is. I got to scroll down here and get it. Lainey Wilson.
Yeah, Lainey Wilson.
Here's who your nominees were.
Working her tail off.
I know.
She's been working her tail off.
Yeah. Your nominees for Best Country Album were Lainey Wilson, Chris Stapleton, Casey Musgraves, Post Malone, and Beyonce. Now, I don't listen
How did
to
Post
country
Malone
music. I don't know. I don't listen to country music, but I know country music. We've had a couple artists on ourselves that are country music, between, Mark McKay, as a matter of fact, who just got an EP put out recently. But if you listen to Chris Stapleton, you listen to Lainey Wilson and Casey Musgraves for that matter, that whole entire album is going to be country. You cannot tell me that one song, maybe two or three, on Cowboy Carter is going to be enough to push those off. It blows my mind. It pisses me off, because it's just not what it's supposed to be. I was trying to,
and we're not the biggest. We're not the biggest defenders of like country, but as a pure genre, you're just ruining it by just shoehorning someone in there that had a twang in a song that was popular. I don't think was endorsed by the CMA or the AMA. It wasn't like they were like bowing down to Beyonce and glad she's there, like they have with Jelly Roll, who I think is much more at least sincere.
Yeah.
And maybe even Post Malone is sincere. I don't think that's a country record, but he may be a little more sincere in what he's trying to do. I don't think Beyonce will tell you she's sincere and that's a country record.
No.
I think she's even said it's not.
Exactly. She has insisted that it's not. There's an article that's out there that specifically states her quote, that it's not a country album. She doesn't like, and she kind of mentioned this in her acceptance speech, she doesn't like to put a label on the genre. I get that. That's great. But could she have turned, and I'm not saying anything bad about Beyonce nor her music. Her stuff is great, if that's what you listen to, but it's not a country album. She has said that. This ain't a country album. To quote her, it may have been country inspired, which is great. Nelly had a country inspired song, at least, with Tim McGraw. There's a lot of them that have.
Right, and was it Steven Tyler put out a country song. Bret Michaels put out a country song. Bon Jovi put out what they called a country tinged album that, if you listen to it, has a song on it. Who Says You Can't Go Home?
Hey,
you know, that's a great song. It's a great song.
Megadeth put out. Megadeth did These Boots Ain't Made for Walking, so that means that Megadeth put out a country album.
I don't get it. Here, and here's the thing. Now I don't know the nominees for album of the year, but if she won album of the year,
well, I can give you those too.
And well, my point is, a lot of people said she should have won it in, I think, 2017
22
for the Lemonade record. 22, okay, for the Lemonade record, because that was her most personal work. It was some of her best work she's ever done, and she's super talented. So, but she doesn't win it. She lost out to Adele. Okay,
right.
She loses out to Adele. So do we feel bad and we just want to throw her a bone and say, okay, you win it this year? You know, we messed up last time. It's kind of like when John Wayne didn't win the Oscar for True Grit.
You're absolutely
he got it for the
right.
sequel. We'll give it to you this time. Sorry.
Yeah.
But how do you feel if you're Lainey Wilson and you've worked your tail off nonstop for the last 5 years, performing and performing and performing, and you don't get a Grammy for Country Album of the Year? You know, and she's actually a country act.
Right. Here's an interesting thought. And I copied this from an article because I think it throws a little credence into what not just us, but a lot of other people are saying. I'm going to read this. Most interestingly is that the metadata for the tracks that are on Cowboy Carter, that's the digital information that gets distributed with the songs that tells the service, the programmers, how long the song is, who wrote it, the producers, blah, blah, blah. Instead of Texas Hold'em and 16 Carriages, which are two songs on Cowboy Carter from Beyonce, instead of being marked as country, they were marked pop. Pam made a point in the chat that said the country stations I listened to didn't even play her songs. I saw a graphic that had some of the radio stations that was like, hey, thanks for being, for playing it as the number one added. A lot of them started with a K. Obviously, if you know about radio, anything west of the Mississippi begins with a K. So these are, right. This is Texas. This is, your western states. This is California, wink, wink.
California.
So sure, they were added, and I'm sure they were, but they were marked as pop songs. Give the album a listen. I'm not going to say it's a bad album. It's not my type of music. I don't listen to it, but listen to it. It's not country enough to win country art or country record of the year.
But what did you think of the sudden announcement of a tour, the Cowboy Carter tour? All of a sudden, how long has this record been out? Like late 2023, early 2024, and now we're doing a tour.
Yeah,
I won a Grammy, so
yeah.
I guess people liked it.
Yeah, come see the award-winning album on tour. I've been searching and looking for a lot of feedback, basically from artists, and of course, it's hard to find because people aren't going to badmouth it. Not like they did when Metallica lost to Jethro Tull. They're just playing the game, blah, blah, blah. There's a difference, though, and one of those differences is John Rich from Big and Rich, Country Stars.
Big and Rich.
John Rich has been on The Apprentice, very outspoken. He doesn't let stuff go by. I'm going to pull this up on the screen for those of you that are actually watching on YouTube. And I'll read it for you if you're listening. So John Rich comes out and says, "Folks are asking me, how do music award shows work?" And his response is, labels, publishers all have blocks of votes. They make deals with each other. You vote for mine, we'll vote for yours, that type of thing. And I'm paraphrasing here. It has zero to do with who made the best music, thus Beyonce with Country Album of the Year. Nice, right? The same thing is true with the CMAs, ACMs, Billboard, etc. All work exactly the same. Last night, the Grammys outed themselves in a big way. That post, which was on X, has been reposted 11,000 times. 2.4 million post impressions. So who actually outed themselves, the Grammys, or did John Rich out the Grammys? But think about that. And it's quoted, "You vote for mine, we'll vote for yours." So now it's like, okay, was this just a political stunt in the political sense of music, for her, because, her husband, Jay-Z, did this big speech about how she's nominated and she's won 17, thousand Grammys, but never got Album of the Year. And then she gets it.
Right,
Oh, well,
right.
it's a cross-platform. Let's give it to her. I don't know.
It just occurred to me. It just occurred to me that this makes the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame look democratic.
Right?
Because they have a board. People have a ballot. They put their votes on a ballot. All this stuff is discussed. They hash out the nominees, and then they count the votes. They even have a fan vote that doesn't mean a lot, but they have one.
It's there.
So yeah, we gripe about the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame all the time. But now, after seeing this, it looks almost like a democratic process.
Yeah. So
I'm hurting people's eyes. I'm making their eyes water in the comments. So I'm trying to apologize because I don't want to hurt anyone's eyes.
Is this because of being Fuzzy Ace?
It is. It is.
Moving on to Record of the Year. This is another one that people are upset with, and you can't please everybody. I mean, we could put this right back with the Rumble. Jey Uso wins. People wanted John Cena to win, but no matter who wins, people are going to complain. But the question is, did Cowboy Carter, did it deserve Album of the Year? I don't know. All I can say is that I don't, in my personal opinion, think it deserved Country Album of the Year. Anyway, it also won Album of the Year. It was going against Andre 3000, Sabrina Carpenter, Charlie XCX, Jacob Collier, Billie Eilish, Chapel Rowan, and of course T Swizzle, Taylor Swift. And it beat out all of those for Album of the Year. Again, don't listen to it. I don't know.
List.
Yeah.
But that's an impressive list. The mighty T Swizzle gets beat. That Sabrina Carpenter record has been that's an earbug, right? Or earwig or earworm or whatever. Those are hook songs. And, I'm surprised it didn't win. And Billie Eilish is really, really popular. I don't know anything about that album or her music, but
I've actually listened to the Billie Eilish album, and it's impressive. It's very good. The rest of them,
okay.
like you, I don't know. But
so having said that, though, you listen to the Beyonce record. I mean, what do you think if you compared the two?
Oh, Billie Eilish all the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, again, politics played into this for some reason.
Right.
And Jay-Z's got a lot of money.
Yep. Just saying. So yeah, controversy like crazy. Who knows? it brings me to the category that I don't think was broadcast on TV, of course, because why would they? But best metal performance, and this was between Gojira, Judas Priest, Knock Loose featuring Poppy, Metallica, and Spirit Box. The winner of this, I believe, again untelevised, the winner was Gojira. Gojira, however you want to say it. Do you know why?
Nope.
Remember the Olympics opening ceremony?
Yes.
There you go. And hey, this is for best metal performance. Was that an epic performance? Heck yes, it was. Did it deserve to win?
Yes.
Obviously, people did. They believed it. But my point to this is look who they beat out. Spirit Box, Metallica, Judas Priest. That's an impressive list.
Like real metal bands. Metal bands.
Those that have been around.
Right. And I do remember now what you're talking about because we discussed it on this show, that performance with Gojira. So,
yeah, and I loved it.
That tells you right there. Well, that tells you right there how much it meant to me. I didn't think much of it at all because I forgot all about it. But Priest, I remember. Spirit Box, I remember. Metallica, I remember. So, and they've been around forever.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think there's a bit of a bias against older acts too. A little bit. I mean, do you want to give something to other than the next category that we're going to get to?
Yeah.
So, but what I'm saying is a little bit of bias against metal because I don't think it's taken as seriously. So we can't just give it to these tried and true metal bands because then we would be giving them credence that they actually mean something. All right. So to the next point, though, best rock performance. You had the Beatles were nominated, the Black Keys, Green Day. Is it Idols, Pearl Jam, St. Vincent, and the Beatles win. The Beatles win for a song called Now and Then that was taken from a cassette someone found. AI was used to enhance the recording, right? This is what you didn't want to talk about when we brought up AI months ago, but how it's being used in music.
Yeah.
And the Beatles, who are revered by people that vote for Grammy Awards, well, they win. The win. I mean, it's how old's that recording? 60 years old?
At least.
50, over 50. Over 50. And not even a song that, I guess mattered much to them at the time,
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter much to me right metal, now. I don't think I've ever heard it.
I did. It didn't impress me. It was fun. It was fun for them to do what they did, as a novelty. I never once thought they would seriously consider it for a Grammy Awards for best rock performance. Over someone like Pearl Jam or even Green Day or the Black Keys, who are at least a little newer, a little more recent.
Yeah. But
so we can't give credence to metal, but we got to hold the Beatles up on a pedestal.
But we're not doing any justice to rock music. When you look at those in that category, where's all the people that we've talked about just last year? Where was the Sebastian Bach? Sure, it could have been put under metal, whatever. But where do we draw the line between metal and rock? And who's creating these categories other than everybody that's already doing the voting that we talked about earlier that's paid more money? Thank you, John Rich.
Right. And, a lot of people talk about that the Black Crowes record and how great the Black Crowes record that was. it's not anywhere on this list anywhere. And that would be a rock record, not a metal record. That would be a rock record, and it's not anywhere on this list.
Yeah,
and it won't be.
No, not at all. So that's the music issues that we had with the Grammys. I watched a few of the performances. Of course, Carpenter and Billie Eilish. I saw those. I didn't watch a whole lot of it, but I mean, it was all right. There were some other issues, and these are not going to be music. Well, I mean, I guess they're music related because they are artists or artist family members. I'm still trying to figure out why Jaden Smith walked in looking like Little House on the Prairie. I'm all about doing your little whatever your fashion stuff, but my man walks in with a house on his head.
I saw that.
Why? It's said now that it was a vampire castle, but I thought he was trying to it's a reboot of Little House on the Prairie, but it wasn't. I don't know about you, but he certainly did not look like he wanted to be wearing that. Interesting, to say the least. Yeah.
Well, you're talking about the houses on the head, and that gets you more attention now than all the gratuitous nudity that we have all over the place, because we're used to that, right?
Oh, are we?
We're used to people not wearing clothes.
Because Matt McFick says that it was an attention grab. Yeah, it absolutely was for attention. However, Ace says, we got to do something because we're over the whole nudity thing. I don't really think so. Not when somebody shows up and is literally completely nude.
They're literally nude. I'm talking about, a little risque, or maybe even a little more risque. This was over the top.
Was it over the top or was it under the bottom?
I don't know. Whatever the black square was.
So this was Kanye West. This was his wife, Bianca Censori. She risked jail time because, public indecency. And she basically went completely nude on the Grammy red carpet. She showed up wearing a, what would you call it? Just like a fur coat?
With a sheer, it was a sheer dress, right?
Well, I'm talking about the coat.
Okay. Did the coat cover enough?
Yeah, it was a fur coat, covered basically everything. And then she dropped her coat. She turned around, so her back is now towards the paparazzi. Dropped her coat to reveal a sheer, use that term loosely, mesh dress that showed every bit of her body. Every bit. There was no hiding nothing. There was no imagination. Conspiracy theorists are stating that she didn't want to do this and that Kanye basically made her do it as some kind of ritual or something. And like Nat McFick says, it was an attention grabber, as she stated for the Vampire Slayer. Was this a publicity stunt in the sense of Kanye wasn't even invited to the Grammys, but yet I'm gonna go ahead and show up to the red carpet, and here is my nude wife. But watch the video and pay attention to her face.
Right, that she looked very uncomfortable.
Yes. He's a marketing genius. We are still talking about it. Yes
Marketing
and
what?
no.
Him?
Yeah, she says she's meaning. I think Nat's meaning that Kanye is a marketing genius because we're still talking about it. We may still be talking about it, but we're not talking about it in a positive way. Although anybody that's been watching that hasn't seen it may go and check it out. You know, I'm all for the female body, but why would you do that to your own spouse? And I'm only assuming that this was something she didn't want to do. And he was just like, do it. Because there's some lip readers that are out there like trying to get to see what he says or something like that. And he's like, I've got you, go ahead, something like that. But wow.
I guarantee you Kim Kardashian had never have done that unless she wanted to do it.
Yeah.
If she wanted to do it, she would have done it. But
she would have made him do it.
I don't know. Right. I don't know this lady, but you know, when's the last time he's had good publicity though? That's the thing.
I don't know.
I mean, people say that, you know, any publicity is good publicity, you know, but I don't know. He's had a bad run in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
I don't know of anything really, really positive.
Yeah, there's something that just came out, and I'm trying to see. I'm trying to get some like other stuff on this, but there was a report that they were kicked out of the Grammys. Apparently, that's not true.
No,
they say that the couple was never asked to leave. They just walked off the red carpet when they were done and left.
And they went to dinner.
Yeah, exactly. They went to dinner. They went to a PETA convention. Remember the photos were, you know, you'd have your nude celebrities saying, don't wear fur. I don't know.
Right. You know, in the comments, Nat McFuck is saying she likes the attention or she would not have done it. And that's a fair comment, but also we don't know what these Hollywood's a strange place.
Yeah.
And we don't know who's controlling who or who's in charge of what. I mean, my gosh, we've got all these wacky P. Diddy things going on. Who knows what Kanye's got on, you know?
Dave Portnoy, if you guys watch TikTok, you've seen him do pizza reviews. He's actually the founder of Barstool Sports. He's quoted as saying, when is the last time Kanye made headlines for his talent as opposed to just being a jackass for shock value? And he makes a very valid point. Very valid point. But what a crazy week for the Grammys. I mean, this has put a huge spotlight, and here's the point that that Nat McFix is making about, you know, publicity and all that. Here's the publicity for the Grammys. They've got Kanye doing this. They've got Beyonce winning this. They've got rebuild this house on somebody's head. And they did a whole tribute apology to The Weeknd and brought him back. I don't even know what the story is on that, nor do I really care. But it was just...
I'm confused. Why are we apologizing to The Weeknd?
That's the problem. I don't know. But because I haven't looked, I didn't really care.
I've had a rough Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but I didn't apologize to The Weeknd. I apologized to me for doing it.
Yeah, it was your fault for doing it. There was something going on with him. Don't know, but they apologized. But holy moly, the Grammys are going to be on everybody's tongue for at least a week. And it's exactly what they need, because now people are going to be like, ooh, what's going to happen next year?
Well, you know, and back to this whole thing with Beyonce and winning the country album of the year. You know, country already has mixed genre problems. It's all over the place anyway. I don't think this helps it. I don't think this helps it at all.
No.
You know, I mean, you've had her, You've had Jelly Roll do a conversion. Post Malone is throwing music out there that, he calls country. Who else is next? Who else is next?
But Taylor Swift did it. She was country. She went pop. It's an ongoing thing. I think right now there's just an identity crisis, just like there was with rock back in the day between, speed metal, heavy metal, hair metal, alternative metal. It's just all these things. And I'll give credit where credit's due with Beyonce. Why don't we stop with the whole genre thing and just focus on the music? She makes a very valid point, because then we don't have this controversy. But you've got to tweak the awards or something, or tweak how you pay. Maybe you got to do Cash App or something. I don't know. Something's got to be done.
Well, or find a more fair way to get these nominations out there and winners selected, and not just do it because I'll scratch your back if you scratch mine. We don't. That's not, that adds no validity to the music at all.
Right.
At all. It's just like, well, Beyonce's worked hard. She's worked hard. She deserves it. Come on. It's almost like the old payola days in radio.
Yeah. Which is being looked at by the FCC right now through the Senate. But anyway, that's a whole different story. It'll be interesting to see what this does, how much this draws additional support for that album, now that it is the Grammy Award-winning album of the year. It's going to drive sales. It's what these things do. We don't have to agree with it.
I can't wait till the Oscars.
Wait till what?
I can't wait till the Oscars.
Oh, man. I might not have to watch that, too.
But go ahead.
I swear. In other news, as we bring this evening to a close here in a couple minutes, a couple things that are out in regards to the world of rock and metal. Anybody remembers 1997 when Metallica's single came out called "The Memory Remains"? Inside that song, you remember the voice of a lovely lady who would say, "Na, na, 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 na." Well, her name, that was a great impression. Her name was Marianne Faithfull, and unfortunately, Marianne passed away at the ripe age of 78 years old back on January 30th. So it's within the last week. She's done a lot of stuff. Metallica put out a message in regards to her passing, saying a big thank you and F yeah for your incredible and unique contribution to our music, and for always being so willing to join us in performing it and partake in the ensuing shenanigans. Rest in peace. And that came straight from Lars through Metallica's social media. Again, she was 78 and she performed on the album. She performed on stage with them for that song. I believe it may have been either Grammys, AMAs, Saturday Night Live, something like that. But yeah, well, it was a big loss for music in general. That's where you talk when it gets quiet.
Well, I had no thought on that.
Okay, that's fair.
You said everything that needed to be said.
And another thing too, we've been talking in the past about Steven Tyler and them having to cancel, lots of tours and stuff like that because of throat surgery. What?
Had to retire Aerosmith.
Sure. Retired Aerosmith. However, fans were delighted Sunday night at I guess this was a post-Grammy party or something like that, where Steven Tyler reportedly performed 6 songs at his Janie's Fund Grammy watch party with help from Tom Hamilton, Nuno Bettencourt, Matt Sorum, from Guns N' Roses, Mick Fleetwood from Fleetwood Mac, and Chris Robinson of the Black Crowes. There is footage out there of him singing. He did More Than Words with Nuno Bettencourt, Dream On with Lainey Wilson, and, I don't know what else, but take a look, listen to it, judge for yourself.
You know that he could. I don't mean that they're going to get anything going with Aerosmith or he's going to be doing tours, but I think he could do this occasionally because the stronger he gets, the better he's going to sound. And Dream On sounded pretty darn good. That sounded really good.
Yeah, it's just like going to the gym. You keep working at it, you get better. And I hope that's the case with his voice. Because if he's willing to give it a shot, then let's do it. Did you freeze?
I'm buffering, so you'll have to go on without me.
Hey, you confused me because it's normal. 3 shows into the Aerosmith 2023 farewell tour is when Steven Tyler suffered a vocal cord injury that ended them postponing that entire tour and then eventually retiring, as Ace pointed out just a few minutes ago. So, yeah, good to see him on stage. Hope it lasts, and we'll kind of see. I don't know. Yeah, so that is your episode for this Tuesday, February 4th. I'm Clear TBT. That over there is Fuzzy Ace. We thank you guys for joining us. Be with us next week. And in 2 weeks, we got a special guest for you. So is that 2 weeks? Yeah. 2 weeks, we got a special guest for you. And I'm going to tell you just yet who it is. But actually I will. It's no one. Nobody.
No one.
Yeah. So, yeah. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.